Before you jump to the comments and you say, hey, Viking, what are you talking about? You just drove this around a car park. Sure, you did a little burnout in a car park. That doesn't mean anything. Actually, no. If you watch the video a little longer, you'll see I actually drove this all around China, one of the biggest cities in China. And it was quite an experience. So this was a pretty exhaustive test drive, car park driving, full self-driving test driving, someone else driving it, me watching what they were doing, me driving it, and looking at one in the showroom, going through all the features on the touchscreen, changing the language from Chinese to English. There was a lot involved. Is this the best electric car ever that I've tested? Yes. The best EV in existence? The truth is I don't know. I haven't tested every car, but in my personal experience of owning this car, I think it's awesome. But this is even more awesome because this is a new version. If the price is the same as my car, what I paid for the car, I'm going to go out there and say, this is the best electric car. Value for money wise, range, performance, handling, just luxury. The interior is so nice on this car. The exterior looks better. The software has some new features. And I've got to say, from my driving of this car, and I didn't just drive it for 5 minutes, I drove it for quite a long time. It's pretty damn good. Boy, oh boy, I am so tired today, guys. Jet lagged, didn't sleep last night very well. But you know what? I'm excited. And the reason I'm excited is because I've tested the new version of my own car and it is insane. It is ridiculously good. It is definitely better than my car. The new XPENG G6 might be the best car you can buy right now. That maybe sounds wild. But for the money, I can't think of anything better. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. As I'm here with the new XPENG G6, this is it. And it looks really good. I do feel like it looks a bit better than mine. I know, it's crazy, right? But it does. Look at this. The badge is all blacked out. So blacked out badging on the back. The lights look a little different. I have to say, I think the lights do look a little bit better. By the way, this is an XPeng global event and I'm right in the camera shot here. So the front of the car, I'm going to show you guys how the front looks different. Full width light bar in the front. To be honest, front, not much different on the front. It's only a little, just a small difference. People are filming me while I'm filming this. But anyhow, I do think that full width light bar going all the way across does look a little better, right? But I'm intrigued to know if the interior looks much better. Now guys, I'll show you this XPeng event. We're in Hong Kong here. There's people everywhere. As you guys know, the Chinese government have paid me $1 trillion to come here and do this. So thank you Chinese government. I'm going to get inside the car now. Let's have a quick look. Okay guys, we're looking at the interior now. I have to say, it unquestionably is more premium than my car. Well, I don't like saying that, but it is true. Man, it's really, really nice. Steering wheel looks pretty much the same. Media screen is bigger. Not built into the dash anymore, guys. Look at that. Not built into the dash. It's bigger, so they had to make it outside of the dash. That's interesting. Look at that. That's a change. All right, this media screen here is meant to be different, they say. So slightly different media screen. I can't really tell a lot of difference with that. What else looks different? My cup holders. This area is a little different. It's flatter here. It looks flatter. Am I wrong? I don't think I'm wrong. Counter there is the same. Trim on the door is a little different. Not in a necessarily good way. It's just slightly different. What else is different? Well, this car is different to the Australian spec model because this has a digital rear view mirror. As you can see there, it's showing you the skyline of Hong Kong because that's what's right behind us. Now, what else has changed in here? You can see all the chrome there. That's different with the air vents there. They look different. What else? Let's have a look. Back seat looks the same. Oh, I can't, I mean, it's a grey interior, so other than that, it's the same. I don't think they've changed the seat. Looks very similar, but the material does feel different, guys, in the car. The actual seat material, just on the base here, it does feel softer. I might be wrong, but it does feel different. It feels a bit softer. Now, guys, looking at the big space in here, as you can see, but nice big space, exactly the same as the current G6, well, the one in Australia that I own. And other than that, let's have a look and see what we can see with this media screen. This is split screen. You do have this feature in Australia as well. Let's go and see. So yeah, you can actually do this split screen thing like that. I can't read any of this because I can't read any Mandarin. Yeah, there's heaps of apps that they're compatible with in China. Let's have a look at this. Yeah. Temperature. I'm feeling hot, so I'm going to put it on harder. I'm going to change that temperature. I don't know why, but I feel like I'm hot. You can see there is definitely some differences in the interior here. Not major differences, but it is definitely nicer. I kind of don't want to say that because I own this car. I think when you own a car, you're more likely to want to say, "Oh, it's no different. My car's better." But let's be honest. It is a little bit nicer. I do think having that screen size a little bit bigger for the driver. Yeah, the screen here, this one right there. It looks a tad bigger. It's not integrated in the dash. The only thing I'd say that the current G6 does, the screen is digitally integrated. It is not digitally, it is integrated a bit better into the dashboard. So I do like that feature. And the car ultimately is pretty similar, but yeah, it looks a little better. Guys, I've got to say, it is sort of weird filming a video when you're being filmed by other people constantly. It's like, I don't know why, but for myself filming while there's 3 cameras filming you is truly strange. Anyhow, what are my thoughts on this car? Well, okay, it has faster charging than the current G6. Approximately 500 kilowatt charging. I mean, obviously there are no chargers in Australia capable of that, but there might be in the future. I'm going to guess that there will be in the future. That's one benefit. That said, I don't know how much that affects most people. I mean, what do you reckon? 1% of driving, less than 1% would be on a DC fast charger. Yeah, considering the current car charges so quickly, I don't really care too much about that. The other changes are really just limited to aesthetics. The car does have slight changes on the outside. I love the blacked out badges. The full width light bar on the front rather than the split light bar. I think that is a little bit of an improvement. There's one negative though, and it is a definite negative in my opinion. The long range version, the battery is a bit smaller. It's going down to an 80 kilowatt hour battery, or maybe it's 81, up from about 86 or 87. So yeah, that's just the one negative that I see, making that battery smaller. Now XPeng is saying, well, we've improved the efficiency, so that offsets the reduction in size of the battery on the long range, the NMC battery I'm talking about here. Of course, the standard range model has a bigger battery, slightly bigger, I believe. It's a couple of percent bigger. So the standard range model, the range might increase, I'm going to guess, by about 20 kilometers. So it might go from about 435 kilometers of range for the standard range to probably about 460 kilometers for the standard range. That is definitely a big plus. Just got back from China. Now, this is a full-on test drive. This was illegal. I wasn't meant to be doing this, but I test drove 4 different XPeng models through China. Hopefully China lets me back in again if they find out that I did this. I don't know. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I test drove 4 different electric car models from XPeng. I'll have test drive videos of each of those cars up on the channel within the next couple of weeks. The first video here is the new G6, the XPeng G6. The 2025 version, which is not yet out in right-hand drive car markets. In fact, it's not yet out outside of China. It's only in China right now, but it will be out in the rest of the world within the next probably 6 to 12 months, depending on where you're located. If you want to find out everything that happens, you're going to have to watch the test drive video. Okay guys, I'm here with the new G6. As you can see, it looks like it's got 18-inch wheels on it. Much smaller than the Australian model, but it's going to get more range as a result. And also a bit more comfortable. I know those wheels and tyre combo is not probably what people think is cool, but it's practical. Much cheaper tyres, much more comfortable, way more comfortable. So I'm a fan of it. But other than that, the car does look a little different. I have to admit, I do think it looks a little nicer, that little ducktail spoiler on the back. We've just got out of the P7 Plus, which is right there. We tried the XPeng GP, the Autopilot or full self-driving. Yeah, I'll talk to you about it, a bit about that in the other video. But it's got a little bit of improvement still that it needs, obviously. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to try and give it a little fang around just this little area here, around there, just little roads around just around here, even though that's technically illegal. Anyhow, silver. I'm a big fan of the silver one. I have to say this is definitely a visual improvement of the current model. So let's jump in and have a look. Okay guys, it's sunny. I'm just going to jump in the new G6. I'm going to take this for a bit of a spin. I'm pretty excited. As you guys know, I have this car, but this is the new model. So let's jump in here. I've got a physical key. Now obviously you can use your phone, which I use all the time, but I'm not in their system, so I'll just use a physical key. Just unlocked it. All right guys, we're gonna drive it. I'm pretty used to this, even though it's on the wrong side. Well, not really wrong, is it? We're in China, so it's the right side. On the left, steering wheel on the left side of the road, left side of the car. Let's go. I'm doing something wrong. What am I doing? Why is it beeping at us?
The seatbelt's on, right?
Seatbelt's on? Your seatbelt's on? Is it telling us something?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, Tanya had her door open and it was beeping at us. We worked out why it was beeping at us. Okay, here we go. Can actually, what we're going to do is adjust the menu settings to have it how I have it, so then I can compare them exactly the same. Let's change this into English. And guys, you can see here, in China you've got to do an exam. Is that right? Yep. Yeah. To make sure you know how all the features work. Review exam. Oh, you got to, whoops. Okay. Now, lane centering, same as Australia. Auto lane change. That's interesting. Auto lane change, traffic light and stop sign control. Bypass obstacles by crossing lane line in beta. So I don't think we have that in Australia. I'm guessing when it comes out of beta, maybe we'll have it then. Very interesting how they call it beta like Tesla does. Navigation guided plot, NGP. So this does have NGP. Okay. All right. Lane change by voice. AI valet driver. Once activated, the system will silently memorize and push high frequency routes for you. Okay. And then lane change. Standard. Okay. Speed limit. Offset. Flashing lights and honking to give health. What does that mean when they're taking high speeds? Okay. One tap. One tap. Quick activation. So it's saying one tap, not two. That's interesting. Voice announcement mode. Low power. Okay. Let's give it a shot. And I'll drive up to the gate and then we'll swap seats. Okay guys, now XPeng have basically responded to customers who are asking for what you can do in a Tesla, which is one pedal driving where it comes to a complete stop when you're using regen braking. So the car, you never need to press the brake. You can just use regen braking to start and stop. A lot of people, well, there has been some people who haven't bought an XPeng because they want this feature. They're used to it in a Tesla. And they're saying when XPeng have this, then they'll buy one, which is interesting. I mean, I didn't realize this was a must-have for some people, but clearly they're used to it. So it has the feature now. It definitely has a button you can press on the screen, which it's not activated in Australia, but I'm hoping that they'll do an over-the-air software update. Let's find out later, to enable this feature, because it should just be software integrated. I just tested it, it works. I'm going to try it try it a couple more times to check. Okay, worked again. Now let's go a little faster and see what happens. Okay, worked again. Not super powerful, but it definitely did come to a complete stop. Okay, worked again. Now I'm going to see acceleration from a standing stop. Okay, worked again. I think the handling is pretty much the same as the current G6. So I'm a fan of the handling of the G6. As you can see, it's pretty easy to lose traction if you want to, but it's controlled. It doesn't feel like it's out of control. And yeah, big improvement with having that feature, the complete start-stop using regen braking, which is, like I said, what Teslas have now. XPeng have put that same feature in. Most Chinese cars don't have that feature, so that's one big benefit. We're driving past the super secret XPeng mule in camouflage. They don't want me to film it though.
You can add that in your video.
I can't. Did you say? Really?
You can.
I can. All right. I'm about to drive a little bit quicker. This guy's probably going to get annoyed, but oh well. All right. You ready? Gonna brake. Alrighty. Feels just pretty similar to my car. Now, it's quickly. Oh, that's nice. Very nice. Very nice. Actually, that's quite good. So let's just check what settings we're in. Okay, we're in standard, guys. Now my settings, my personal settings that I run in my G6, I put it in sport. I put the power steering in sport. I put brake pedal feel in sport. X pedal. We didn't have X pedal on. I thought it felt different. Okay, let's put X pedal on medium. No, I usually put it on high actually. Operation too frequent. What does that mean? Okay, if X pedal is enabled, the car will slow down to a stop after you release the accelerator pedal. Oh, so it has. Okay, this is the feature that everyone's asking for. Okay, so this is the feature that heaps of people ask me for. So this is the same as Tesla, where you can put it in one pedal driving. Now this is what we need to test. We need to test to see how this works. All right. Okay. Now let's see. Okay, guys, I'm going to go and try and stop here. I'm going to do nothing.
How nice this is. Which one do you want to park in?
Whatever.
You do it. Let's just quickly show what's showing on there. Yep. So everything is here. Oh, that was way better than the P7. That was one go.
Smooth.
Yeah. That's how it normally is. Okay. All right, guys, there you can see it parked with one didn't do any maneuvers, just one maneuver. I gave itself a thumbs up. It was like a little celebration. Okay. Now it's giving us a report on how the NGP went. All right. Lanes changed. How long we had it on for. How many times it deactivated. Intersections. Mileage proportion of. It shows you how often we had it on. 66% of the time we were driving, we had NGP on. And manage, I'm not sure exactly what that means, but it looks like you can, so it's telling us we share this with XPeng. Is that right? Let's check if app discover intelligence.
Go to the app, discover intelligence.
It does have Tesla's full one pedal acceleration, so one pedal driving. That is a good upgrade. And I know some people have been waiting to buy the G6. They're saying, well, I don't want a car unless it has what Tesla have with one pedal driving. And in fact, most cars don't have this feature, which is unusual. I find it strange. They don't. XPeng now have it. You can turn this feature on or off in the G6. And I drove through China probably for maybe an hour, in fact, maybe 2 hours, using simply one pedal driving. I didn't touch the brake. It works really well. So good news for you guys who are holding off for that reason. Other things that I noticed with this car. It drives pretty much the same as the existing G6. You'll see me do sort of some fast kind of little burnouts in a car park, driving around, and I've done the same thing in my own car, and they both felt the same. So I think that's a good thing. The existing G6 has great handling. The comfort is the same. It's not the most comfortable car in the world, but it's got the perfect combination, in my opinion, of combining comfort with basically very little body roll. Now, you do get body roll if you're going like flat out crazy, but yeah, I mean, I think it's an ideal combination. So there are some changes here. And one of the changes I think, which makes it one of the best cars, maybe the best car you can get for the money, is it now has approximately 500 kilowatt fast charging, 5C charging. You can charge the battery from 10 to 80% in 12 minutes. 12 minutes. It's a new platform. And XPeng haven't actually talked about this, but it's actually new batteries that they're using for this. New batteries enable this kind of insane fast charging. Now, I should mention, those new batteries are in the long range version. I believe that the standard range version, which uses lithium iron phosphate batteries, I think that's still the same LFP batteries. But the battery is bigger. The standard range version has a bigger battery. It's about 10% bigger, which means it should get a similar range to Tesla's standard range Model Y of about 460 kilometers of range. That's about 300 miles. Now, guys, people have been telling me, they're like, oh, it's so hard to drive in China. China's crazy. You know, it's actually not that bad. I did a lot of driving. I drove all day through China, all different places, and it wasn't that bad. To be honest, there was a couple of hairy moments, but in general, I found it pretty good. But I did notice one thing in China. People don't really follow the road rules. They almost never indicate. They go the right speed usually. They don't break the speed limit, but they almost never indicate. And that's one big challenge. So I tested NGP. NGP is basically full self-driving, Tesla's full self-driving. To tell you the truth, I don't know what to say. It wasn't amazing. It did kind of stop working occasionally, as you would expect. There's interventions where you've got to take over. But I'm not sure whether my experience was indicative of other drivers, because I have seen other people test XPeng, many other people in their YouTube videos testing full self-driving in XPeng cars, and it's been really good. My experience was not that, but that doesn't mean that I'm right. I don't think I am right. I'm kind of thinking to myself, well, I don't know, maybe the streets I was in or the particular cars I had, there was something in it that it wasn't turned on properly. I don't know. I mean, it was, as far as I know, it was turned on, but I just think maybe the calibration in those cars wasn't exactly correct. So the G6 in future will have the Turing chip. The Turing chip is XPeng's full self-driving chip. And it's manufactured by, well, it's not manufactured by, but XPeng designed it, I believe in collaboration, possibly with NVIDIA. But XPeng have decided to no longer use NVIDIA chips in the future. for their self-driving. They'll use it for other purposes, but for the actual car self-driving, they have their own chip. And they've basically kind of done a similar thing to Tesla. They've said, well, actually, NVIDIA's chips are great, but they're not particularly exactly designed for full self-driving. So they've made their own. And that chip will go in all XPengs in future. I believe next year, all XPengs will get that chip. Maybe not the Mona, but everything else will for certain. So the 4 cars that I test drove were the G6, the new one, the new G9, the Mona, and the new P7 Plus. Those videos will be up on the channel very soon. What are my thoughts on this car? Well, okay, it has faster charging than the current G6. Approximately 500 kilowatt charging. I mean, obviously there are no chargers in Australia capable of that, but there might be in the future. I'm going to guess that there will be in the future. That's one benefit. That said, I don't know how much that affects most people. I mean, what do you reckon? 1% of driving, less than 1% would be on a DC fast charger. Yeah, considering the current car charges so quickly, I don't really care too much about that. The other changes are really just limited to aesthetics. The car does have slight changes on the outside. I love the blacked out badges. The full width light bar on the front rather than the split light bar, I think that is a little bit of an improvement. There's one negative though, and it is a definite negative in my opinion. The long range version, the battery is a bit smaller. It's going down to an 80 kilowatt hour battery, or maybe it's 81, up from about 86 or 87. So yeah, that's just the one negative that I see, making that battery smaller. Now XPeng is saying, well, we've improved the efficiency, so that offsets the reduction in size of the battery on the long range, the NMC battery I'm talking about here. Of course, the standard range model has a bigger battery, slightly bigger, I believe. It's a couple of percent bigger. So the standard range model, the range might increase, I'm going to guess, by about 20 kilometers. So it might go from about 435 kilometers of range for the standard range to probably about 460 kilometers for the standard range. That is definitely a big plus. All in all, I do like this car. It's still great. I still love my car, but this is the future, and there's nothing we can do about this. Cars are going to be changing constantly. It's inevitable. As soon as you see a new model comes to Australia, there's going to be an updated version available probably in China, and you just have to accept that that's going to happen for every car and every model. Obsolescence or whatever it's called, that is just a way of life. Mobile phones, technology, everything. We don't have that old cycle now where legacy auto, I mean, they'd only update a car every few years, or 4 years even was quite common. Totally different in China now. Updates coming relentlessly. Speaking of updates, XPeng actually revealed that they revealed over-the-air software updates every month. So last year they did 12 of them. Assuming that happens again this year, that's a lot of updating to your car. That's a pretty cool feature, right? Guys, I'm about to actually speak to the CEO. And as you guys know, I am a big fan of XPeng CEO for a lot of reasons. And I'll talk to you about what those are, but I'm being summoned. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.